Hello, lovely people. So, I thought I'd give you a personal update now on everything. So, we've obviously had disruption in February 2026, and everything that went on here with a refurb, refit, rearrange, and everything. It was, I think, a long time coming and very overdue. But obviously, like everything with small businesses, we have to sort of weigh it up and do it at the time we can, and also when it's financially viable to do so. And it was a case of bite the bullet at this point and make the changes necessary. It was spurred, it was going to happen anyway, but it was spurred even more by a day out I had back sort of late January, early February, where I actually spent time in a room with other business owners and a business coach, and we sort of looked at our businesses and worked on our businesses for a day. And it only took a day to actually get away from the desk here, get out and about. I don't know what's going on with my hair, I do apologise. And get out and about and actually, look at the business as a whole. Why did I set the business up in the first place? It was me, myself and I back 17 years ago, 2009. So, it was a cat on mine way back to then. Why did I create the business that I created and to where it's come to now? And, I'm not perfect. I went from a market trader up to a shop on the high street. And some people said to me I should be proud of what I've got to achieve, which has been quite weird to hear and everything, because when you're in it, you're so focused on it in it, you don't see and you don't necessarily remember where you've come from and where you've gotten to. It's a whole journey. And you just don't realise actually the work and energy that goes into running a small business. And I haven't realised it. It's one of those things. So it was nice to be able to sit back and sort of reflect on the business, where it should be going and why I did it in the first place. And it was all about helping people at an affordable rate where possible and offering the services out there, basically. So I started off doing IT. That was the first and foremost, and then brought in some design and print, and then eventually went to telecoms as well. We're now, we've gotten really busy, which is great, but the refurb needed to happen. And for a long time, we pushed the IT to the back. So it was very much a forefront of the business, but location-wise in here, and for customers, it was very much at the back. Like, when I moved to North Street, for example, here in Tavy, it was in the very back room. And when we moved here, it was in the very back room here. And then eventually did move to the middle room, which was fine, but it wasn't the forefront. So I was like, well, hang on a minute, this is how the business started. It was at the forefront. I was at the forefront doing IT. Why have we moved it so far back when people need to be able to come in and have the help there and then, see where possible, to have their items sorted? So that was one reflection and one thought we had when we did the rearrange and refurb here, is actually it needs to be at the forefront again. That's key. So that's why we've rearranged the reception area. So when you come in now, you come in from your door, ta-da, and you come in and we have our seating area here, which you can sit now, and we have the IT counter, which is my computer, and obviously all the stuff there as well. So the IT now is there at the forefront. You have that front-facing element. You can go to that counter now and have IT support there, basically. And so then for us, the simpler jobs can be done there. And then the ones that are a bit more complex or just require time, they'll be booked in. So it's not like, whereas before everything was being booked in near enough, now it's like, no, actually, the jobs that we can do, we'll do there. And then we'll book it in if necessary. So really trying to change that up, basically. From behind the scenes as well, from an IT perspective, we had a ticket system before, but it wasn't visually appealing at all, which some people kind of go, well, that's irrelevant. It's like, but we had a list, and the ticket system was a list. And if for any reason at all something wasn't clicked in place, for example, or something changed or whatever may happen, it was just a list of people and list of jobs. And it wasn't really very clear where things were at, which doesn't help anybody at all and doesn't help us. and then we'd have to scramble and try and find where things were in the list and where they fell, etc. We've completely changed over to something called a Kanban board, which is basically columns where we have sort of like new in diagnostics, currently in progress or fixing, for example, waiting on parts, on the outshelf and all that sort of thing. So we have a very visual list now and where things are at. And each of those columns as well email the customer, you, and also email the engineer as well. So we're all kind of in the know of where things are at all times. Much easier now. This is quite a recent change for everything, but at least it's visually now we are fully, totally 100% working from that Kanban board now. So it's much easier for us visually to see where things are at and what's going on. So that's also helping as well, massively. Our phone system has changed a little bit as well. So whereas before you would ring through and it went to that one person, and if they weren't available, you just got a voicemail. Now it's a case of it rings that person, it then rings the whole office, so somebody else can hopefully grab it if one of them are free, and if not, then we'll go back and go to the voicemail of the person you've called. But at least getting an option now to hopefully get through to at least someone, even if it's just to pass on a message. All right. So that's also changed as well. Then from the print perspective, and that's been a huge one because it's a lot of investment there and time. Print-wise, so our old printer was made redundant. We had it for 7 years, and in the last sort of year, big time started to fail us in quite a big way. And one of the reflections and one of the things I look at was the real sort of guts of the business and kind of go, what's going on here? Why is print struggling? And we just dealt with quirks and issues that were arising. When I looked into it though, and looked into all the nitty-gritty of the time spent and all that sort of thing as well, I worked out that in 12 months we wasted £7,500 on staff time in sorting our printer out. 6 months was about £5,500 alone in 6 months. So that's a lot of money to be losing and spending, wasting time on a printer and sorting it out and various things as well. It was just not ideal. We've got to the point where we needed a bigger printer, a faster printer and a reliable printer as well. So we've now had a brand new production machine, very eye-watering, which is going to be a 5-year term, installed as of February 2026, which is already vastly improving how we're running here in the print department. Hannah's able to get on with finishing while it's just printing and not jamming every 4 or 5 pages. So there's that. We can also have multiple medias in there now as well. So whereas before we had like one major tray and a couple of little ones, we've now got 3 major trays. So we can have multiple medias in there as well. Immediately saving so much more time on having to load and unload the machine as well, which is also great. So it's just saving so much time and energy. I'm sat here now, not currently sat at the printer, still doing printing at 11 o'clock at night. I am sat here now, able to do other work and emails and invoices and various things. So I'm not now losing my nights to that. I'm able to do other things, as well as obviously you can go for a run and enjoy walking the dog and various things. So yeah, I'm also doing personal things as well in the evening rather than sat in front of a printer. And that's only happened in the last 4 or 5 days, and it's kind of gone, this is really strange. I have time suddenly. But that's great. That's how it should be, that we should have the time to spend with our customers, you, and be able to respond to things and do things. Hannah's been able to get on top of emails quicker, finish jobs quicker. A job that normally would take an entire day to do on the previous printer took about 2 to 3 hours. So it's immediately halved that for her, which is amazing. So we're just going to see a huge improvement in that area basically. But now as well, with the rearrange we've done, we've got the IT here and everything. And then in the other room, basically we have the print and design, which we're not now split up. We haven't got, a bit of IT and print here and a bit of IT and print there. It's the case of you come in, I'm sat in my little corner here. IT is at the forefront. You can come on through, you can go over and speak to Hannah as well. But from where Hannah is, from the archway all the way back, is totally print and design. There's nothing else there at all. We have no other parts there at all. It's literally just print and design. So it's really clear, internally now, where things sit, where things are at. and the business now is no longer sort of fractious. That's a word. It is literally, that's that. So, whereas before we had bits in different places which just wasn't working at all. So it's been a labour of love for everybody involved doing this. The staff have stayed late at night, off their own back, I might add. So it's not like they've been paid to stay late at night. They've done it off their own back to help the business out and get this to a point where it's better for you, the customer, but also better for them as well. Because I think they were itching to see an improvement in their working environment. Obviously, who wouldn't want a better working environment? And it's great because there's so much more space now for you to come in, and you can come in and speak to me. You can go and speak to the guys. You can go past this and go and speak to Hannah as well. Everywhere's got seating now, which is great. So you can sit and wait if there's a bit of a queue. It's just far more you focused, which is lovely. So I'm hoping you guys will see the changes and improvements, and I'm really hoping this will make such a significant difference to everything that we've done here. So I want to thank you all for your patience, for your continued patronage. It's really appreciated, and see you all soon, I hope. So thank you so much, everybody. Take care. Bye.